story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine. We have one more life, one more shot at sunrise. The rays let things start with new eyes. Don't break the same tragic goodbyes. One of these fly. Nightstand, not to reminisce, just a reminder to never go back to a life we shared. Anytime I'm feeling the urge to look at a picture, oh, I get so confused. 'Cause I swear I am so over you. My mommy told me that we shouldn't worry. Daddy told me just a good story. He said to move on and keep going. Imagine. We have one more life, one more shot at sunrise. The rays let things start with new eyes. Don't break the same tragic goodbyes. What if they fly?
One, two, coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it, my words spray tight. They getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it, you know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly, we ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all, peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah, come on. Hey.
Welcome to the PHPUgly podcast. From Japan to Brazil to San Diego, we are here to thrill you with episode number 327. With me, as always, is my good friend Eric Van Johnson.
You gotta click on me. Hello, everybody.
You're doing the clicking here. As well as John Condon.
He's only doing the intro. You have to do all the rest of the work, he's saying.
Yeah, you do all the button stuff.
Did a horrible intro, by the way.
And I'm Tom Rideout.
Didn't mention our sponsors.
This
didn't
is
mention
the PHP
Discord.
podcast that's barely about PHP. We've got wonderful sponsors. We're going to introduce them later. We're glad to have you here with us tonight.
Not as easy as you thought now, is it?
No, I nailed it.
Eric, thank you for all the hard work you always do every week.
Oh, that's a shot across the bow.
No, I think that was a direct hit.
No.
Okay, we do have a couple of sponsors. Actually, one sponsor, as always, honeybadger.io. And of course, we always like to thank our Patreons on Patreon. And we're going to talk about all of them a little later.
So this is weird. I've been corrected on this by you many times. Patrons on Patreon.
Patrons on Patreon.
Patrons on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Because I think I got everyone saying Patreons on Patreon.
I think I used to say, I think I said that at first too.
Okay.
Either way, thank you all for supporting this train wreck of a thing we do every week.
It's not a train wreck. We've been doing great lately. And
Fantastic.
Eric, I have to agree. That is a fantastic hat for this episode.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
It is. I don't do the.
Can you do it in an Irish accent, please?
I can barely do an English accent. American accent.
This is. I guess this is our St. Patrick's Day episode.
Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. Are we all expected to be more intoxicated than usual?
Oh God, no. We had too much experience with that in the past. We're fine. Same level of toxicity as normal.
Still too high.
All right, you brought the show in. I can't, like, you gotta get the show going.
Okay.
You can't stop there, Tom. There's a lot more to it.
Welcome to the show. If you would like to comment or question us live, you can get us on discord.phpugly.com. That is where we do the majority of our weekly business. But I'd like to start with John. How was your week?
Let's not start with me. Let's start with Eric. He never gets to go first. Eric, how was your week?
He always gets to go first. That's the whole point of this.
He talks first, but then he asks one of us about our week. You introed. Eric, how was your week this week?
Eric, how was your week?
It flew by so quick. It was good. Last week,
quick week.
After the show on Friday, I drove over to Pasadena, California, and went to the Scale Expo, which was fun, I guess. I didn't realize how freaked out I was going to be being around so many people. It actually shook me a little bit, to be totally honest, if I'm being totally transparent. But that was all right. It was fine.
But you were very excited about this.
I was, yes. Yeah, and it was fun. I enjoy Scale. Scale, I think, was my first tech conference, I want to say. I'm not positive, but that seems to be right. Yeah, I'm going to say it now. Yeah, Scale was my first tech conference. So I have a... Yeah,
nobody's going to question you anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Who's gonna background check that one? And then we'll see, what do we do this week, man? Like I said, everything was such a blur. Stressing about getting the magazine out, which I think we're close to doing.
Very stressful.
Got some good news on sponsorship, which I think is pretty much a carryover from last week. I don't think it's anything new. Just nothing. Well, we can talk about one of them now. Matter of fact, you can go.
We can talk about two of them.
Go on.
We talked about last weekend, right?
What's that? I don't think we talked about either of them last week.
No? All right.
I don't recall.
I'm going to share my screen with you guys so everybody can see.
While you're doing that, while you were at Scale, did you go to any talks or did you just go to the vendor area?
Just went to the vendor area. I was kind of there for I had an objective for being there. But yeah, I just went to the vendor areas, so don't hold that against me. All right,
Gotcha.
so on board, that I think we talked about Platform SH last week. I'm not positive about that, but I think we talked about Platform SH last week, and then
don't think so.
InfoBip.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think we did because I was saying I wanted to get them on the site, but yes, Platform.sh has joined as a bronze sponsor, and InfoBip.
What is Platform.sh?
You can read it right there. The cloud platform as a service to develop websites and web apps. Actually, they do a whole lot more. A nice way to be able to host your apps easily.
And they seem to have been real friendly to the PHP community as well. I've seen them sponsor quite a few things. I think I don't think they work there anymore, but Garfield worked there at one point. What's Garfield's name? Larry Garfield worked there at one point. I'm pretty sure. I'm like 95% sure on that. And then I'm also pretty sure that they don't work there anymore. But yeah, just if you want to host a PHP application, and you don't want to bother with the whole server management, this is the sort of solution for you.
If you don't want to deal with DevOps. They will be your DevOps peoples.
Yeah. And then InfoBip, I don't even know if I'm saying that right. How do you say it?
Yeah, InfoBip.
Yeah. So they're a VoIP service. So that they
omni-channel communications.
Yeah, we don't say VoIP. We say VoIP.
No, I say VoIP.
I say, why don't we say VoIP? What did I do wrong? I'm so scared.
I think people who have been in the voice over IP business say VoIP.
Like John?
Yes. I think they say VoIP, but I don't think anyone else says VoIP.
Pretty sure everybody says VoIP. I'm pretty sure everybody says VoIP. I want to go with that. I'm going to say everybody says VoIP.
No,
what?
Can't.
So I guess that was my week. I can't think of. We had some good conversations with clients this week. Making some progress. Yeah, I don't know. Feel like
so you guys have
done. We had a meetup last night. Oh, I'll let John talk about that. Yeah. I'm done.
You've dealt with a lot of PHP tech stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Always. That's our week in general.
Can we get a refresher on what those dates are?
I'm sure we will be getting way more into tech, but yes. For Tom, because he's still doesn't know if he's going yet or not. PHP Tech in Chicago, May 16th through the 18th. Less than 60 days away now, right?
Early bird is no longer, so you're paying full price. I'm sorry to say. Unless you
61 days to go.
Unless you know the secret PHPUgly discount code, and I'll give you a hint: it's PHPUgly.
Except you need the link. You can't. There's nowhere to enter a code.
There isn't?
Nope.
What?
The secret PHPUgly code is full price, no spaces.
That's it. Full price. Oh, you gotta be able to enter it somewhere.
No, it is not there.
Oh, we have no more discount codes? Awesome. All right, you're paying full price. Sorry to tell you. Here, what's your credit card information, John? Let me just test it real fast.
42. 42.
Don't even try because it doesn't.
4242. 4242.
Get going. Get going. I tell you, I'm pretty. At the end of Early Bird, I was pleasantly surprised by where we were on ticket sales. The fact that we kept running out of hotel rooms and had to keep extending our block felt good.
Can I say, I just want to make sure you're not depositing to Silicon Valley Bank, right?
Not anymore. My life savings was there, but nothing business-wise.
No, we're strictly Bitcoin now.
I really wanted to bring this up in the last episode because it was like the roof was on fire while we did our last episode. Silicon
Before we
Valley.
get to that, though, why don't we finish with our weeks, Tom? You're doing a horrible job as a host, I just want to say. John, how was your week?
My week, like yours, it went by super fast for some reason. Lots of great things happened work-wise. Got some code out that I was really happy with. And then I ended up doing the talk last night at SDPHP. And we were live streaming, and, you know, you'd think we have done recording for some amount of time, except we did not test audio, and the audio turned out horrendous.
So what was the presentation?
I did Event Sourcing 101. It was basically an intro to event sourcing, but I cheated because I waited till the last minute to do my talk, and the first half of my talk was basically ripped off from my introducing event sourcing to a legacy application. Not sponsored. So because I'd given that presentation just a few months ago, I'm like, oh, I got this, you know. And of course, I don't remember all the words that I had. They were written in front of me, but the setup isn't like, and the setup's not like a conference where you have a podium and your laptop's closer to your face, and I can't see anymore. So you'll see me like, I'm like, oh crap, I can't even read my screen. I should have zoomed in on my text, my speaker notes. And then on top of that, the way this setup worked at the venue, we had to use AirPlay to send video. We couldn't get to an HDMI port. And I have a Linux desktop, so I can't do AirPlay. So I ran the slides from Eric's laptop, but all the code sample and everything was on my laptop. So I did the speaker notes from mine, the presentation from Eric's, and then trying to keep the slides in sync was not easy. I have the clicker for the slides, but then I had to use a keyboard for my speaker notes, and it was a mess. I don't think it turned out as good as I would have hoped. And then on top of that, the technical difficulties.
So was this kind of like a dry run for the tech video stuff, or?
Yes. For live streaming. If we can figure things out, we will add live stream tickets. If we can't, then no. If we can't, we will just hopefully record and make the videos available afterwards.
I mean, LaraCon's done that for years. It's like not live streaming, but post presentation stuff.
I like the live streaming because ideally, you know, people jump in Discord, they can ask the speaker questions. We will have people monitoring the rooms. You know, they're going to be running the video equipment anyway. So I'm hoping that there can be more interaction. If you have a question for the speaker, you know, it can be relayed through our room monitors.
Well, and you can fire Kalen when it doesn't work out.
Well, that's the goal anyway.
Get him in the U.S. and hide the body. All right. Unfortunately, I'm going to let everybody know I still don't have Discord tied to this Restream account. So if you do want to really participate in the chat, we have a couple of people chatting with us now. If you really want to participate in our chat, you want to head over to discord.phpugly.com. Pop on in there. That's where we're at all week long, kind of talking to people. And
I mean, I thought I covered that pretty well in the intro, but
well, we didn't know that it wasn't working during the intro, so I was just kind of bringing it full circle. Tom, how was your week?
Oh my goodness! I moved into this house and then immediately went on a week-long trip to San Jose, and came back and started doing stuff in the house again, and it's just been chaos. But I have lights now that cycle through different RGB colors,
Well, that's going to be real useful.
It's very important. On top of that, though, it's been interesting. The first time I went to the big office, I was barely started in the company, and this time I felt much more established. And coming home from that, I feel much more comfortable with the code, comfortable with the work I'm doing. I don't feel the pressure of a new job, and it's such a freeing feeling, not having that pressure of pushing yourself so hard for the new job.
Cool.
And so this week I've been very productive and very relaxed at the same time. I'm very happy with it.
And while you were there, you talked to all the right people about PHP Tech and bringing the team, for continued learning.
Sponsorship, advertising in the magazine. I'm sure you hit all those bullet points, right? Okay. We'll just move on. So are you why the bank crashed? You were out in Silicon Valley and you crashed the bank?
I was there while the bank crashed.
Mm-hmm. You wanted to talk about this.
I did not know until I was on my way home. So for those who don't know, Silicon Valley Bank, which was at the time, the 16th largest bank in the United States, had overextended its debit line, and there was a run on the bank, and it crashed this weekend. The FDIC took over. They got bailed out by the FDIC, but a lot of other banks are under new scrutiny that caused them to fail as well. And it is a real big mess. Silicon Valley Bank was a big source of venture capital funds. So if you got a venture capital investment, that was kind of like where you put your money for your payroll, for all your work. And with the big tech layoff that has happened in the last 6 months, a lot of people spun off their own new companies and got venture capital funds and invested those funds in Silicon Valley Bank. So there was a huge concern that these companies that just started with great ideas were going to be sunk by this whole thing. It looks like they're not. But paychecks are bi-weekly at best and monthly at worst. We haven't yet seen the total fallout of these banks collapsing. For those who are not in the U.S., the FDIC insures deposits up to $250,000. So if you have $250,000 in a bank and the bank collapses, you're covered by government insurance. But we're looking at companies like Roku, who had $3 or $4 billion in an account at that establishment. They don't get that money back necessarily. And so now it's a huge fight for who gets the money first, how much the government owes the public, and how much corporations are responsible for not vetting their own investments.
That sounds crazy. I didn't know it. The only reason I knew about it is my payroll companies kept emailing saying, "Don't worry, payroll's covered. We're not affected by this." I'm like, affected by what? Why would I even care where your money? Like, I wouldn't even thought about it.
So, we've talked in the past about Linus Tech Tips, and Linus Tech Tips did a really thorough coverage of this about how large companies will buy land instead of put money in a bank. And I don't have the term right. It's not a land bank, but it's a land deposit.
Phil.
Something. What, Philip DeFranco?
No, you said land. I said Phil. I was trying to be funny.
So the weird issue here is that these kinds of instabilities in unregulated bank transactions end up resulting in higher real estate prices because large companies who don't want to be under a bank will buy land that they never intend to sell.
Kid comes in with the win, land trust. So I just figured out the one topic that's more like absolutely mind-numbing than project management. Can you guess what it is?
Banking. Did I get it? Did I get it right?
It might be more mind-numbing, but it's very important because when the regulations get relaxed on these banks so that they can make these risky maneuvers that cause bank failures, land prices go up. We, as a collective people, suffer from things that we think wouldn't or shouldn't affect us.
Eric, I don't think he got your point.
No, I got it. I just don't care. I'm the host now. Who's got the big frame
I'm the captain
on the
now.
YouTube
I'm the
video?
captain now. That's what Tom just pinned me in a corner. I'm the captain now.
A lot of people in our industry could have been very, very negatively affected by this, and we're squeaking by with government assistance. But this could have killed venture capital for the last year and a half. And that's a big deal.
So, John, we didn't get to all your PHP topics last week. Did you want to talk about any of those still?
Of course.
I'm really curious about the RFC you had on here for the amendments.
The which ones?
Read-only amendments.
Oh. Let me look at it because I don't remember.
Running smooth as butter today.
Yeah, you remember that whole bringing up other people's stuff.
I know. I just had to move on. Otherwise, Tom would have droned on for another 45 minutes about how much it sucks that the bank went out.
There has been an interesting development in the PHP internals community.
What is that?
So a developer came along and said, hey, the PHP internals is not adhering to the standards that we've established a long time ago as a C++ or C community. And I'm going to make like a ton of fixes all at once. It's not exactly clear what happened, but this pull request for cleaning up code got merged in, and then it broke something that let's see, it was not Marcus.
I was say, make sure you get this right because Sarah Goldman is in Discord, so you don't want to bullshit your way through this story.
It's Goldman. There's no D.
No D.
So
Goldman. I'm sorry, Sarah.
So the contributor is being named as Max. It looks like a really classic open source community contribution fight where a PR got merged, it broke something, and the whole thing got reverted. And then there was an argument for a week about how this should be done properly. Should there be an RFC? And then the original contributor said, I'm not dealing with this. Which is absolutely like a place I've been before. I've tried to contribute to open source, spent a week trying to defend myself, and said, you know what? I don't fucking care. But that was like a little project no one used. This was a huge thousands of lines commit to just improve the coding standard, not necessarily performance. And the new maintainer, the new person who came in, said, I'm not dealing with this anymore. So how does open source even like make any progress forward if we scare off the contributors? How do we attract positive contributions? That's an open question to the other two people on the podcast.
I was wondering where you were, where that was going. I didn't follow it closely enough. So I don't have a whole lot to add there.
There's a lot of different takes
don't
on
put
what
your
happened.
money in banks. Oh wait, are we talking about something else?
Yes. There's a lot of different takes on what happened.
Do you have a link for this for the show notes, Tom?
Yeah.
All right, I'd appreciate if you throw it in Trello and move it over. It'd be nice of you.
Already there.
See, this is the problem with internals in general. Like, if I was running that ship, that would not have happened on my shift.
You had your chance.
Just saying. I didn't have my chance. That's my problem. They didn't even give me a chance. Could have been somebody.
We know who deserves a chance.
Who is that?
Honey Badger.
Did you forget already?
Do you not remember what we just talked about?
Honey Badger. I don't know.
You're killing me.
I don't know how to cut to Honey Badger.
No, you
There's no
did the
about
live read.
Oh yeah.
I signed into the show. Like, I got into our little room here, and you were practicing it.
Wait a second. Let me find
You
it.
wanna-
I'll find it. Hold on.
You figuring it?
Hold on.
You figuring it out?
Hold on. No, hold on. I got it.
No, okay. You take your time. Let me see if I can get their logo real fast.
Monitoring.
I'll throw,
Like web development can be
or
complicated.
just jump into it. That's another approach.
There
you
are
can take.
tons of
That'll work.
tools and techniques, but you just want to know what your app is up and customers are happy. When your customers encounter a problem, you need clear, actionable intelligence, not walls of charts and reams of logs of detail. That's why we built Honey Badger, the monitoring tool we always wanted, a tool that's there when you need it and gets out of your way when you don't so that you can keep shipping. Know when your critical errors occur and which customers are affected. Respond instantly when your systems go down. Improve the health of your systems over time, and fix problems before your customers can even report them. Honeybadger is the application health monitoring tool built for you, the developer who cares about a quality product and happy customers. Start monitoring today at honeybadger.io. Honeybadger is free for small teams, and setup takes as little as 5 minutes. Once again, that's honeybadger.io.
Thank you, Honey Badger. Let me say that.
Thank you, Honey Badger.
Honey Badger is great. We use them ourselves. Hey, look at that.
Do I do the
Eric,
other one?
You're muted. Eric, you're muted.
Do I do the other one?
Yes,
No.
we do use them. We do appreciate you, Honey Badger. I'm sorry. I'm expecting a call from Honey Badger tomorrow. I was like, just go back to the tape commercials. We're sorry we said anything.
I like to think that Honey Badger is like similar to D Brand, where like they just you get to get away with a lot of shit. Hey, you guys don't watch Linus Tech Tips?
From time to time. He honestly, the channel's kind of bored me
This
last year. So.
yeah, this week was not boring. It turns out that Linus thought that the R word for mentally handicapped people was called the hard R, and admitted to using the hard R many times when he was younger, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And it was the scariest thing I'd ever seen happen on a tech podcast. Where like I was like, oh my God, I can't watch this anymore. And there was 2 minutes where his co-host was just like, we gotta stop this live stream right now. What the fuck are you doing? And then he explained that he did not know what hard R was. And the Linus Tech Tips Reddit went crazy with it, and it was great.
Am I supposed to know what that means? Because I have no clue.
You don't know what the hard R is?
No.
You're good. It means you're a good person. It means you're a good person, John. We'll have to tell you after the show, but
I seriously will never tell you. If you don't know it,
Do I now need to Google something?
no, you put the word cuck in my head, Tom.
yes,
I'm gonna put the hard R into John's.
that's a really bad idea.
Yeah, it's okay. I have no
All right.
clue.
So you guys, we've talked your ear off a lot about PHP Tech, and we're going to do it more. I mean, as we get closer, I'm not going to lie to you. Okay. Some very exciting things have happened at PHP Tech in the past. I mean, little standards were made and all this other stuff. But this week, and Tom walked away. He's the only person I can talk to about this, and even he probably won't care that much. But last week, I think it was Laravel India, Lara IN, I think is what it's called, had their conference, Laracon India, which for the most part, I mean, I probably wouldn't have paid it a whole ton of attention, but they announced two fairly interesting projects that if you're a Laravel user may interest you. And if you haven't watched the videos, you may want to go give it a look. I can only assume they're going to talk about more when they later on, because it hasn't actually been released. They just kind of teased it. Two things, and I want to make sure I get these correct. There's Laravel Folio, which is this interesting concept that kind of takes you back to, who did this before? Well, I guess JavaScript does this as well, but Folio is you name a resource route. So the route's called, the route can be whatever, and you can say, okay, this is the resource route, and then any view you put in there automatically becomes a route for you. So, at like user.play.php becomes that route. That becomes the route. Like you don't have to go in and create individual routes for every view you create. So that was sort of interesting. It didn't really blow me away because not really kind of the area that interests me, but I assume a lot of, especially new developers who might see it as a challenge getting their head around how routes work and all that, might find this useful. Or if you're just doing quick little brochure websites, I can totally see where it's useful there, for sure. But so that's coming. I don't think that is the same. Is that the same Folio?
I don't know. This is a customizable Laravel content management system.
That would not be this. I don't think there's repos public for. Oh, it's spelled the same way though.
If
this is from 5 years ago, 3 years ago. This is different. Yeah,
6 years ago.
Yeah. So so that's kind of. That's kind of meh. Like I said, if you're a young PHP developer or you're a young Laravel developer, new to PHP. When I say young, new to PHP and new to Laravel, you might see some benefit to this. So yeah, it's whatever. Kind of cool. The one I'm excited about is called Laravel Volt. Now, Laravel Volt is extremely interesting. I'm still not totally clear if Laravel Volt requires Livewire, which I think, like, talking or here listening to the talk kind of is what it leads me to believe. Or I guess there's still the outside chance that somebody took my advice and integrated Livewire into Laravel. But either way, it's very cool. So Livewire already has this concept of inline components. So you can create a Livewire component and you can actually put your rendering blade in that component. So you don't have to go create a separate file. This kind of throws that paradigm on its head. So in this scenario with Laravel Volt, you create a blade and you can actually stick your Livewire code above it. Kind of like I know this is how I'm not a JavaScript person, but I know Vue did this, like where they put their logic above the code for rendering the page. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Laravel Volt kind of is that, which I really like that idea because so many times I'm like, oh, I just want to do this one little kind of dynamic thing. And, instead of creating a component and creating a view and pulling everything together, you just create your view, you add your little Livewire snippets. And Taylor referred to everything as Livewire. That's why I think that Livewire would be a dependency or a requirement. This would be a dependency of Livewire or a requirement of require Livewire, because Taylor would always use Livewire component, Livewire this, Livewire that. So that really cool. So two things we can kind of look on the horizon for are Laravel Volt, Laravel Folio. If you're a Laravel and PHP developer, that is what you want to keep an eye out for.
We also have the release of Laravel Valet 4 this week, which, as much as it doesn't have a whole bunch of new features, is a full rewrite of the internal engine to more resemble the behaviors of Laravel Valet 2.
Why? Okay, I wasn't aware of this. What happened to Laravel Valet 2 that is trying to behave more like it?
It's a matter of the simplicity of the configuration and the number of containers that get spun up. It looks like after Valet 2, things got too complicated, too difficult for a quick spin up, and Valet 4 is trying to get back to that original, spin this up as quick as you can. Don't worry too much about resource management. We'll worry about it. Get things functional as quickly as possible.
Oh, all right. Excellent. Yeah, I see that. I see that here. All right, I'll throw that in the show notes as well. Valet 3. So Valet 3 was released in March of 2022 with the primary focus on adding support for multiple versions of PHP running in parallel on the same machine, which is one of the reasons why I started using Lando. So interesting, yeah.
Which is a great goal, but now that Laravel has a requirement for PHP 8.1, well, maybe is it 8.2 now?
It's 8.1.
It'll be 8.2 in what, August?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they seem to push those requirements ahead with their framework pretty regularly. Oh, that reminded me, John. Now that Tom brought that up, with your presentation on event sourcing, I was surprised to hear you say that PHP 8.2 was a requirement. What about your code? What about 8.2 were you using?
So it turns out everything I demoed was not requiring 8.2. In the piece that I didn't finish up, which was the snapshotting, I was using another package, and it was tied to 8.2. So
Gotcha.
as I was trying to write that code, and I brought that in, all of a sudden I had to upgrade my local PHP to 8.2, get that all running. I didn't get the code finished. Again, being a last minute part of the presentation, I just wasn't able to get it done. I don't do snapshotting in general. Just don't have enough events per aggregate to make it worth it. My demo last night, I had 100,000 events on a single aggregate. And granted, it's a little slow. It took like 1.2 seconds to get the aggregate back up and going. But if you have 100,000 events, I'm sure you have more resources to be able to.
So you're not running it on a laptop, really? You don't do that?
Well, but this is something we've talked about at length as presenters and hosts of meetups, is that if you really want to understand something, if you really want to learn something, commit yourself to a presentation on it.
Mm-hmm.
And you will start to learn the ins and outs. You will have a purpose to learning this thing.
Commit to writing an article for a magazine. I think there's one out there that is always
what
looking
kind of
for
magazine
writers.
What magazine would take PHP code examples? I can't even think of one.
I'm glad you asked, Tom. The PHP Architect magazine. No, seriously. Every time I've written an article for the magazine prior to us having taken over operations, again, you learn so much by needing to write about it. When you're trying to show somebody else what you've learned, you want to go that extra step of learning something in addition. Like there's much more that can be done.
There's going to be questions. The Fox Pro guy is going to say, yes, but how do you add a column?
Never gets old.
Never.
No, it does, actually.
Are you sure?
I've never minded going and giving a presentation or talking to people and just being upfront. I'm not going to have the answers. I don't know everything about this topic. Ask, maybe we'll figure it out together. I like those types of conversations when giving a presentation, of somebody asks something that maybe I haven't thought about, and it's like, I don't know. But maybe after the presentation's done, you sit down and you figure it out together, or it just gives you something to think about, later on and maybe find an answer to it.
Well, and we've done that a lot as friends and coworkers. We've spent a lot of time after these meetups really going over like fine details and saying like, well, maybe this works, maybe this doesn't, and spending time on Google and figuring things out. I think that's one of the best things about meetups is you get to ask questions after the fact. You get to say, hey, is this, in your experience, is this how this works?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm giving a presentation for my company on enums tomorrow, and I really wish I could have done that presentation with a group of people at a meetup before I did it with my peers, because there's going to be a lot of questions I don't have answers for.
What kind of on enums? I'm trying to think about what questions somebody would ask, but is this like a lunch type thing where a lunch and learn, people sit around to hear your presentation, or what is this?
So we're doing an upgrade from 7.9 to, or maybe 8 to 8.2.
There was no 7.9.
Yeah, so
you're talking
it
about
would
PHP?
PHP 8 to 8.2.
Okay.
So there's a lot of enum stuff going on. There's specific ways of doing enums that are database storable and not database storable. And whenever we want to use enums, we have to use a database storable version, which is a specific format. And we have to make sure that the enums are namespaced to what they should be in a way that's readable. So status is a bad enum. Client status is a good enum. Counselor status is a good enum. But just status.
Why is status a bad enum?
Because as the product progresses, clients can have statuses that counselors can't have, and counselors can have statuses that clients can't have. And an enum should be a very select group that says you can be any of these things. You are one of these.
Yeah, but namespace, you could still have a status enum in a client namespace or a counselor namespace.
Absolutely.
I was about to say the same thing.
But
Thank you,
for programmatic readability, client status continuing versus counselor status continuing means fundamentally two different things. For client status continuing, it could have references towards billing, it could have references towards scheduling, references towards vacation time. Counselor statuses could have references towards payments.
But to John's point, they'd be different namespaces in the code.
So they're different namespaces, but that has to be legible in the code, like deeper in the code. When you're dealing with a greenfield application, absolutely, this would make sense to have status as just one thing. But when you're dealing with legacy applications,
I'm not saying have it as one thing. They're still separate. I'm just trying to get around you're saying the status is bad, client status good. How is, if there are two completely separate classes in different namespaces that happen to have the same name, how is that bad?
So in a lot of legacy code, you're dealing with both clients and counselors or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to do a comparison where client status is this and counselor status is this, and you can.
I mean, you would alias one of them.
You can alias one of them,
Or both of them, yeah.
or both of them. Yeah, in that scenario, I would probably alias both.
Sure,
of them, so
you can.
If I'm using it in the same,
You can import.
Mhm.
You can import as client status or import as counselor status, but the code starts to smell when you start doing that. When you start renamespacing things, you start renaming classes as you import them, that code starts to smell.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to figure out where that line is, right? And you started this by you're storing this in the database. The database doesn't care if you have the namespace and the actual class at the end.
No, for the database, the database is 0123, 0123. It doesn't know the difference. I'm talking about code legibility.
It doesn't not 1, 2, 3, but I'm not sure I'm not sure what that statement meant. Exactly.
He's projecting out the value of the enum, what it would be, and then you can rehydrate from that. But you're not storing a serialized value object at that point. You're storing the value of the enum, and then you have to remake it. So that has nothing to do with the enum, whether it's client status or counselor status.
In PHP's integration of enums, these are called integer-backed enums, where the enum translates directly back to an integer that can be stored in the database.
Right.
And that's the only way that I want to see enums used in code, because that's the only way we can store them that indexes it properly. If you back your enums with a string, then now you have a string in your database that does not correlate. John, go ahead.
No, I accidentally muted in Restream. Eric's going to kill me.
Fired.
As soon as I did it, I was like, no.
So fired. We were so close to being done.
I know.
So close to being done.
So an integer-backed enum can directly tie to a model with a name that's legible in the model. You can say, does this equal draft? Does this equal published?
It's more of how you started this part of the conversation about the namespace, and they're two completely different things. What's stored in the database has nothing to do with whether it's called status, client status, or counselor status. You're talking about just in the code, and I'm maintaining that
I'm
it
talking
doesn't
about
matter.
Active record considers that the integer for status is an enum.
Right, but it doesn't care. As long as your mapping in that active record is correct, and you say, I am using this status, whether it is a namespace status class within a client namespace or a counselor namespace, or you call the class counselor status, doesn't matter. Once you have that mapped correctly, you're fine. Yes, you could change that, and because it's integer backed, and now you change it from counselor status to client status, your code's going to break because you're using a completely different number, possibly, but you're not going to do that.
Yeah, but you catch the code breaking earlier.
No, you don't. It doesn't matter. In my opinion, it doesn't. The naming doesn't matter. It was the fact that you said status is bad. Clarity is good.
Well, status is bad. Status type.
No, it's not bad.
Our patrons.
Our patrons on Patreon.
Our patrons on Patreon.
You keep saying it like, am I saying it wrong or something? Because
you add the E, so you say Patreons on Patreon versus patrons on Patreon. It's not that big of a deal. I've gotten over it.
Apparently, I
used to correct every time, and I was like, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows what we mean. We appreciate your support. Thank you very much.
We do. You make the show a little better every time a new one of you come on board. So we really need a few more because the show has a long ways to go. So thank you, all of our Patreons. Did I say it right that time?
Nope, but that's okay.
Almost. Patron. Like
patrons.
Like the tequila. Patrons.
Oh God.
On Patreon.
You're being called out.
I'm being invaded. Oh, we got toast cam
happening.
Wow. We got kids coming in.
Your wife's coming to your defense. That's impressive.
Did you just call my wife a dog, Tom?
No, I said your wife's coming to your defense. That's very impressive. That's
over in Discord.
Oh. I was about to say, brother, we about to throw down. Oh, that's right. Run, Tom.
I like how last time he took himself out, but this time he didn't.
It's nice of him.
Yep.
My kids are in town. So we have birthdays to celebrate and
really? Happy birthday.
Very exciting stuff. So, all right. Well, I don't know. Do we have anything else to discuss?
I'm sure there's plenty, but it can wait till next week.
I feel like we want to leave them wanting more. That's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure. We talked about Honey Badger. We did our Patreon thing.
We did. Yeah. I'm gonna put on a little QR code. Get $100 off your tech ticket.
There you go. Taking care of our people.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. $100. What are you thinking, John?
Oh crap! I put an extra zero on there. Damn it!
God damn it! You're like the scammers. You put too many zeros. Now you have to refund. Damn it, John!
If you don't give me that $90 back. Next week, we'll talk about the RFCs that have been on the board for a couple weeks now.
Yeah,
we'll cover those.
Yeah, we're wrapping up. Well, before we wrap up, Tom, I need to know what is that little thing up in the corner there? Looks like a shield or something.
A clock?
Is that a clock?
Yeah, it's a clock.
Oh, that's very disappointing. I was hoping it was something more exciting.
Before we leave,
behind you? Where's your clock
Docker.
behind you? Why is it behind you?
Why is my clock behind me?
You turn around to look at your clock?
Do you see what's in front of me?
You have a clock behind you too.
Do I?
Other side.
Yeah, you almost. Docker is holding. Docker is holding open source projects for ransom. So
what?
we all know.
I wasn't listening to you.
We all know about Docker Hub. Docker Hub is a place where, if you're an open source project, you can post your image, people can download it. But Docker Hub has very, very particular rules. Those being that you can never, ever monetize what you're doing in any way whatsoever. You can accept like Patreon gifts, but if you accept money from anything other than just individual users, you have to be a member of Docker's Pro program, which is, I believe, $420 a year.
Interesting number.
So, well, yes. So, recently, A lot of people, some people who have been hosting their projects on Docker Hub have been told, hey, if you don't start paying us this money, we're going to just remove your project. There's no clarification that if the project is removed, somebody else can't take the same name. So I could start injecting malicious code under your previous Docker Hub profile. There's no real good reason for Docker to be doing this for open source projects that have been there since 2006. They just suddenly said, hey, you're making money, give us your money. A lot of developers have apparently moved from Docker to the GitHub equivalent. Let's see, what's GitHub sources? GHCR. But there's not a lot of assurance that GitHub is not going to do the same thing. So the most important thing is if you're pulling from a Docker Hub container, lock your lock file, make sure that you're pulling the same version you expect to pull, check up with your open source provider and make sure that they have not moved to another provider such as GitHub. But Docker is putting pressure on open source and it's not cool.
Although I have a client paying for Docker Hub, now I'm going to look at GitHub container registry. Why not?
Yeah, that's actually not a terrible idea. Along that same lines, John, you got me after your talk last night. You got me hooked on Event Store DB again. I've been in that site all day long reading documents.
I still haven't tried it because MySQL has done well for me. So I don't know what the overall benefit would be. And I have been gun shy to introduce another piece of tech. Right.
Yeah, I totally.
Why?
I kind of feel I mean, I guess if you have different MySQL servers, you have the same benefit, but I feel like you're losing a lot of the benefit as well with using event sourcing on the same server as any projections are on. I mean, like all that. I guess you can still potentially just drop a different table. I don't know. Like, you really got me yesterday about the whole the idea of reprojecting everything out. I mean, I feel like that's such an edge case. Like, that's a disaster recovery. This is our last hope sort of thing.
What, reprojecting?
Yeah.
No, not at all. My point being, you're projecting what you're doing today. Big use case is when it comes to reporting. Projecting to very specialized tables for reporting so that they're super well indexed makes it a lot easier to run those reports.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear on that. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You could still project new tables that might have a benefit for you. I'm talking more about, hey, you lost your database. It's fine. Everything's event source. You can actually rebuild your database. You know, from the absolute moment in time, from the last thing your system remembers doing, you can rebuild your database, which is where I was going. And then, like I said, that's got to be a very edge case because, like, I think of all the layers of backups that we have in our environment, including the AWS point-in-time recovery, which we've used. So but not everybody's using AWS. Not everybody has point-in-time recoveries which is where I would go back to. Okay, if you were depending on this in a disaster recovery situation, yeah, you really kind of want to keep it separate from everything else.
And that gets hard because very few applications, even ones that use event sourcing heavily, have all of their data in the event stream. There's often tables and data that are outside of the event stream that really don't have any part of an aggregate. It's just data that is part of the system.
Right. I'm guilty of doing that as well.
So,
yeah.
But isn't the idea to have everything as an aggregate of an event stream?
I mean, ideally, if you can, but
and that's the other thing we talked about is, and I kept kind of prodding you on it, and you kept saying, no, just wait, not yet. What is your threshold for new aggregates?
My threshold, I don't have one. It is my short answer. I currently build a feature, and if it's going to be event source, that kind of becomes my aggregate of whatever that is. We have done almost like aggregates of aggregates. So
aggregates of aggregates.
Our aggregate will have an aggregate deeper down. So in this particular case, it's called number pools. It's a number pool has numbers, and then the number itself is also an aggregate. So as it changes over time, hey, I want to provision this number. Hey, I want to change something about it. It's its own aggregate. And then it can be added into a pool, which is another aggregate. They're maintained somewhat separately. And then there's logic around when things are persisted to make sure it's all or nothing. Like if you don't save one and not the other, if they're both being affected.
Is this a persistent system like MySQL or?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Event Store DB?
Yeah.
It's just more tailored towards storing events.
Which I haven't actually gotten into the product yet. I've been reading all their paperwork on what is event sourcing, what is cores, all that other kind of revisiting that. I'm really curious about what makes their database event dialed in, right? I'm curious because I still think this just seems like such a perfect fit for a document store. These aggregates, but maybe not. I say that maybe it isn't.
Well, we talked about that quite a bit on the Discord channel. Is what is persistent data, what is indexable data, and what is non-persistent data.
No, yeah. I mean, persistent and indexable are two separate things. So.
No, and that's what it means. We talked a lot about MySQL 8 and how MySQL 8 allows for indexes on JSON data tables.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder how that does or doesn't fit into this event source modeling.
Well, so when it comes to storing events, there's lots of ways of storing it, right? Traditionally, I use a single table, and then the aggregate ID is indexed. But you can also do a table per aggregate, so everything in that table is just for that aggregate. Granted, you're going to have
a table per aggregate.
Yeah, you end up with
that's lots of tables.
Well, that's a lot of tables, but it's all managed by the event sourcing library at that point. Good or bad, it definitely makes your files. You have a ton of files on your MySQL server, but they're all much smaller. So indexing is going to be super fast. Even if you have to do a full table scan, it's super fast. I think that's where something like an event store DB comes in. Like, you don't deal with any of that. It's probably all handled behind the scenes, and they might be doing the same thing where it's being stored so completely separately. It's just kind of per aggregate. Again, I don't know. I don't use it, but that's my guess. It's just the way it's stored is more intelligent. I don't want to list my tables and have 100,000 tables and trying to scroll through them. It probably wouldn't be so bad if I stored events in a separate database versus right now it's in the same database as the application. And it's just another table in there. So I would prefer to have just a few tables.
Cool. All right. Well, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the show. I will say one last thing real quick. I'm working on a PHP roundtable. I had a meeting with somebody I was very excited to have a meeting with last week. You know me, I will share, I will overshare, but we're just kind of pulling guests in. So I want to make sure I get the panel kind of locked in and committed to a day, and then I'll tell everybody who it is and what it's about.
Sarah, isn't it?
It's a Sarah is always on the panel. You don't listen to that podcast. You don't listen to this podcast
every week. I listen to it.
It's not a weekly podcast.
No,
I do
three times a month.
I had set a goal for myself to do it every month. I do think I'm going to miss March just because we've had a lot going on, and honestly, probably May as well. I'm just gonna set everybody up right now. May will probably be missed, but yeah, we're working on getting some people together. We're reaching out to people, and
I got invited. Oh, never mind.
This is why I don't invite you.
I'm so confused. I think it's time.
Host, do you want to take us out?
You've been listening to PHPUgly. This has been episode 327. I can't believe we've gotten that far. I'm Tom Rideout.
We give our full names. I'm Eric.
I'm John.
Keep it ugly.
You gotta cue up the song, Tom. You didn't cue up the song.
No idea how to do that. There we go. It's all John now. There we go.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I did it.
Coming off the top, y'all know how we do. Listen, I'ma drop a freestyle you can cherish. I'ma send a shout out to the host named Eric. Yo, he's never on some average shit. You know Eric, he stays loud and passionate. I'm about to break it down for y'all with the clever song. Yo, shout the host named Thomas, cause he's never wrong. Yo, shout to John, you know that he's smart and quiet, unlike my freestyles, which cause a riot. I'm about to do it like this, cause the people love me. Shouts out to PHP the Ugly. It's called ugly cause it's not professional, but I'm about to come through and bless it with style. So let's do it when I'm spitting, I perfume the room. Yo, the segment of the show is called Doom and Gloom. That came from Thomas. Yeah, can nobody go beyond this? I get the mic and then I'm about to keep it like a promise. Yeah, and y'all know we fill them up with anguish. We talking about the PHP, the programming language. About to break it down, no exaggeration. What do y'all do for a living? Web applications. Okay, I can dig it. My words spray tight. They're getting together on the Thursday nights. Yeah, when it comes to rhyming, you can call me the new dude. I spew true lyrics while y'all broadcast on YouTube. So let's get it. You know my lyrics are major. All up in the comments, they got plenty of haters, but they doing what they doing. Keep it ugly. We ending every show with the saying it's lovely. Let's go. Hey, shout out to y'all. Peace to the whole squad, man. Hope your channel is doing real well on YouTube. Hope you guys are having fun. And it was an honor and blessing to do this little custom freestyle for y'all. Hope you enjoy. Stay up. Yeah. Come on. Hey.
You're the big
doesn't
head.
Work. That doesn't
You're the big
work.
head, John.
That doesn't work.
I wanted to talk about ChatGPT 4.
Oh yeah, you prepped us for that. You're like, oh, this is all I'm going to talk about.
And then you forgot.
I was very
Thanks,
curious
Sevi.
about what you had
No, we
to say
just
about
didn't
it.
get there.
I even read your article. Well, because you talked about a fucking bank for the first 45 minutes. I even read your article so that I could have a good conversation with you about it. And now
guess
Did
we'll
you
save
did
it-
you
save
read the
it for
article
next week?
about? Did you read the article about it hiring a human to solve a CAPTCHA?
I read the article you posted.
So the article
Oh.
I posted was really good.
Marketing. It was just marketing stuff.
No, it was really good, but
Okay. Well, don't share it now. We'll talk about it next week. We're still on the stream, so
Yeah,
it's
share
on
more,
you, man. It's
share
totally
more-
on you.
Share more with us next week.
Yeah.
are you guys not impressed with this lighting?
Not really.
It's
It's light.
a light. It changes colors.
Was it? I mean, how's it different than what you had in your other room?
So I replaced the.
It costs more. He spent
Yeah.
money on it.
Heard that. You know, we'll make you the big pictures there. Everybody can see your awesome lighting. I don't hear any
How's
servers
your-
running yet.
I was gonna say, how's your server rec going? Fully loaded?
Tom.
Did you fall asleep?
You broke him, John.
Why do you gotta be so mean to him? Run him off like that.
Something about Tom controlling the show tonight reminds me of a teenager begging their dad to drive the car. Hey, Woods, you got to update your avatar, man. That's false advertisement. I saw your tweet or your Mastodon post. I forget. I follow you everywhere. I stalk you, but I know what you look like now. I know what you look like. You're false advertising. It was.
All right. So are you changing the intro outro source over there?
Yeah, so the intro is a video clip to the right. So that mutes us and plays the video clip. The outro, I have to. Actually, you can check this out as
Video
well.
clip over there. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
On the
click on
graphics.
add and click on video storage and tell me if you see the videos that I uploaded, which I assume you do.
Click on add under video clips.
The little plus sign underneath where it says plus
Under video clips.
under video clips.
What are you talking? Click add where?
Under videos. So under the window that has our face on it, do you not have a little add button?
Mm-mm.
Really?
I see private chat. Oh yeah, new ad source. Got it.
So yeah, click that and click video storage and tell me if you see the videos that I added.
Okay. Yes,
Guys
I
are
see
jerks.
the outro. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, so I have to remember to switch from the Patreon.
Oh,
to
got it.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
just because we talk while it's going. So
Got it. And then
Yeah.
just turn that source on.
One.
yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yep.
Learn something new. Wait, why are we jerks? What did I miss?
We're jerks. I mean, we are jerks. It's not a false statement.
I am spending so much money, not that much money,
On lighting.
on my house.
On what?
On my house.
Yeah, that's a thing, man. That's a thing. Like, yeah, constantly need things. Oh wow! Hello. Ah. He's gonna have some jackets in there or something. Okay.
It's a start.
New ultra thin blades you're running there. That's awesome.
No, so this is a 24 port managed switch. Pass through, and this is the gaming machine. The power supply is down here. It's really fun working with like server stuff.
Have you never worked with servers before?
I have, but I've never like physically put them in the place they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I've racked and stacked a lot, so.
Well, Mr. Sony, I'm sorry I haven't.
Rack it and stack it, baby. Or stack it and rack it. I don't know.
I remember those days. I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, exactly. That's me. It was.
I am making some progress with.
We gotta figure out your audio.
Yeah. And it's so weird because it doesn't either that or the services I run it through normalizes it, but like the audio stream sounds fine. And I assume the people. Well, I've gone back and watched the video, and you can hear it fluctuate.
Anyone watching us right now? Did you hear Tom's mic spike? Like it sounded fine, and then all of a sudden it was just like way blown out, and then came back, but it was very elevated.
Yeah. So you gotta wait 30 seconds for them to respond. Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. Yeah, I don't know what to do about it.
Stu!
Like that.
Huh?
Stu.
Dude, this.
It has some crazy auto gain adjust going on. Yeah, you're right. That is kind of what it sounds like. Yeah, it just started happening. Like you didn't change your mic, right? That's still the same.
Yeah.
It's weird. I mean, it was happening at the old house, so whatever it is, you've set it up the same way.
Well, this is a new operating system, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
In Restream there is an auto gain control.
Well, we weren't using Restream back then, but yeah, that's a good point. Maybe
I wonder if audio or Video Ninja has that as well.
Oh, mine is yours checked?
Yeah, mine is.
Mine is too. What's high resolution audio? Increase capture and output audio bit rate. Huh, interesting. I guess if I was a musician or something, that would mean something to me.
You don't think we provide a high quality audio performance?
I like how I feel in this red light.
Take you back to the sets. I was thinking.
Well, he went to Nam for a gaming convention in '83.
Yes.
Red lights.
Nebraska Nam.
Oh boy!
Why does it keep going to like bright white and then back to RGB?
No, because I'm fucking with it.
Oh.
You messing with it? See,
I can make it cycle. So now it's just like it's all.
But can you do a Savannah Sunset? Do. Savannah Sunset. That's not a Savannah Sunset. Come on, let's have a light off, you and I. I have settings too. I have preset.
Darth Vader.
I have
Hey, Woods.
tropical twilight.
I have mine to set like to turn off in 30 seconds. So I have about 8 seconds left.
Galaxy. I don't see anything change the Galaxy. Now you got me clicking on things. I have not tried any of these. Ooh, that's awesome. Arctic. Oh, Arctic.
That's a good point, Stu. Did you read what they said? It does happen. Like you walk away, or before when you were looking into your server cabinet, you were talking. So auto gain must have spiked up, trying to make it where we could hear you, and then you move closer to the mic.
Well, I mean, it's a Windows thing. Like Windows tries really hard to control microphone volume because they own
Just did
Teams.
it right there. I don't know what you just did. Like your head didn't even move, and it just did it.
Yeah. Windows tries really hard to make Teams meetings work, but not podcasts.
Well, turn off Teams.
No, I'm just gonna get rid of Windows.
Well, that's an option.
I'm gonna run Arch.
There you go. I keep saying I'm gonna switch over, but I'm so happy with Pop. I just don't have a good enough reason to do it. I have it installed on one of my Pis. I forget which one. What version of Arch was I running? There was a distro for it. I forget.
I got a new little.
Oh, John. So listen. You send me,
Wait, no. What's that?
because I got one like this, and the Atom doesn't work on it. It was
Really?
supposed to. Yeah. So I tried to
Please clarify. What are those?
screen.
So it's just a little, just a little monitor. So for our little Atom Mini Pro, it shows the camera, so I know what's. I only have one camera in here now, but I can do the whole fading. This one shows what's currently going out live. This is what is kind of queued up if you have it. It has the 4 cameras that could be in here, and then I have a still, so I could like switch over to the still, fade to black.
Yeah, I wouldn't go with the Star Wars wipe.
Yeah,
I liked it. Send me the link to that one. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna get them for the conference because we're gonna want something hooked up there.
A-Woods. Yes. What's it called?
Here, I'll go with this wipe.
It's still really bad.
Here, how about this?
Wayland. Wayland's what I'm trying to think of. A-Woods. I really want to try Wayland, which is the new graphics system.
No, it's not. It's bad.
Thanks, Stu.
Don't use it.
Oh, I don't know, man. That's pretty good. Thanks, Stu.
Isn't Pop supposed to be working on their own
Rust-based,
as well?
Rust-based desktop, and I believe it's going to use Wayland as well. So I am excited.
When you're in production, 1,000 things can go wrong. You could deploy a bug in your latest release. Your background.
I'm playing. I'm learning.
I got sick from my last visit to San Jose.
No good.
Yeah, I got a chest cold, but not COVID. I took a COVID test, passed with aces.
Speaking of COVID,
You know you don't have to pee on that stick, right?
Well, how do you do it?
so speaking
The
of
last
COVID,
one I took said I was pregnant. It was obviously wrong.
You sure? Long COVID. We know it sucks. We have a close friend that's been affected by it, but then to hear about Diana Cohen, physics girl.
Yeah, I was gonna.
That was heartbreaking, man.
That's terrible.
Here's the thing: is that
She's not dead, by the way. Anybody watching us?
No,
she's
but
just-
suffering.
yeah, she's in.
no,
I'm sure she's probably wishing she was dead.
my best friend in high school is dead. He was like 4 months younger than me, and COVID killed him. And there's 3 people in my life who've died of COVID, but that really fucked me up. Is someone who's perfectly healthy, more healthy than me, my age, who I grew up with, died of COVID. It's like I'm not sleeping good every night.
How long ago did this happen?
2 months ago. You know, and the thing with Physics Girl, it breaks my heart but it also makes me like so very angry at the people who are just assholes about it. Like, yeah, you know, you can't, you shouldn't support a parasocial relationship. Like, you shouldn't feel like you know these people. That's not good for you. But you should also understand that this is way more serious than some people want you to think. And I just get so angry.
Yep. Hey, I gotta go wake my kids up because they're trying to stay up all night. I'm trying to go to a happier topic. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day.
Forcing my kids to stay up all night is going to be a happier topic. I want to see.
Hey, Dad's drunk again. What are we doing? Let's have some fun. Woo!
They swore they were going to stay up all night, and I'm like, hey, go take a nap now. I'll wake you up before I go to bed, because they're set on catching the leprechaun.
You guys like frisbee golf?
And
I got some frisbee golf for you.
The trap they came up with this year, they are convinced that if the leprechaun gets stuck to tape, they can't use their magic powers anymore. So in their doorway to their room, they built up this like stack of stuff. And
I forgot that was a thing in your household. I remember you telling me about this.
Do they not know how many cameras you have?
Yes, but stay out of it. They have this stack of stuff in front of their door.
This is why I'm not allowed to visit you.
They took tape and they have tape on all the stuff backwards. And then because the leprechaun always pees green in the toilet, they tape the toilet shut.
You really go that much out, huh?
Have you ever heard the term burying the lead? Hey, yeah, you know, leprechauns, they
like, my first question is, why would they
green.
think that a leprechaun pees green, John?
I don't
And why in the
know.
toilet?
Other people do it, and I don't know why.
Oh my god. But see, you're not fully
I'm stuck in it. I want to be out.
You're not fully
We're
committed.
close.
If
We're
you
close
had
to being out.
If you had fed your kids asparagus the night before and not explained that asparagus makes your pee smell funny, and then be like, well, the leprechaun
Too.
That may have gone this is a little too far.
You tell your kids, well, if the leprechaun touches you, then your pee smells funny. And you can tie the whole.
That's great, Tom. Have your kid think that they got an STD from a leprechaun. That shouldn't
What?
give me any mental
As a-
issues down the road.
As opposed to what you just did, which is that leprechaun piss tastes funny.
Okay.
Not funny haha, but funny like a clown.
Eric, did my headshots work for you?
He did. Thank you so much for that, by the way.
I meant to
Well,
go
yeah.
through them and like kind of maybe take some of them out, but
I am upset.
I had way too much fun with that.
I am upset by everything you guys have to say for the next hour.
Huh?
We've preemptively upset you.
Yeah.
That's okay. We're about to hang up anyway.
Well, Leprechaun P tastes funny.
All right, I need a title so our thumbnail creator can get the thumbnail.
I'm
creation.
pretty sure Leprechaun P tastes funny is the title of the fucking episode.
Except we didn't talk about it on the episode.
No, we had P in the last one. We can't do another P one.
All right, hold on. Let me think.
We had something good at the beginning. I forget what it was. I didn't write it down. I saw a lot of people contribute though. Let me see what's there.
Chat GPT?
We didn't talk about Chat GPT because somebody didn't get around to it.
All right, let me try this again. Hold on.
Friends, Honey Badger, Honey Badger. Oh no.
Something with
What Musk? What man?
something with
Ugly
event
at
sourcing.
scale.
Something.
Ugly at scale.
Do you currently use one service for uptime monitoring, another for error tracking, another for status pages, and yet another to monitor your cron jobs and microservices?
Is it AI or what happened? Where'd he go? Oh, he's still there. Load.
I don't know. I'm not sure what happened.
Stinky code, friends, fourth time.
If you want to simplify your stack and lower your bills, it's time
to. Is that you?
All right.
That's so funny. It's so funny to
Badger.
listen to. All right, here's our title. Thumbnail maker. Ugly at
scale.
Ugly at scale. Ugly at scale. Yeah, like computing at scale, development at scale. Not getting ugly, just ugly at scale. Like we're scaling up our ugliness. You are a genius, John. I just want you to know that. You're an absolute genius. I bow to your ability to think of things. Good job. We should have done that like 45 minutes ago. John, I think he's on to us.
Nah.
Like I said last episode, multiple independent sources have said that you guys are just mean to me.
They're not wrong.
About that. Yeah, I don't
But the number one reason startups fail is they run out of money. There are so many ways for startups to lose money. Downtime shouldn't be one. Recent studies found that downtime can cost
St. Ugly's Day. That works too.
Am I muted again?
No.
Damn it.
Look at it. You're fine.
A monthly
We
subscription
got
with
all
Honey Badger helps you prevent costly downtime by giving you
Toaster engine. Toast cam. Oh, I gotta get Toaster's light fixed. Hold on, let me get Toaster's light fixed because I was doing a light off with Tom. So let's see. Let's get Toaster.
You want to do a light off? Watch me.
Yeah. Toaster. What's up? What's up, Buttercup?
This is the after show. Don't worry, the real show wasn't much better, so you're good. With this.
It was great.
Go get him.
Like Eric said, an hour about a bank.
Go over there. Go over there. Go over there.
Puppy.
Toast doesn't know what to do. We have people here. I got pot cookies for my dog. I got pot for my dog.
Can I?
Got doggy pot.
I can't smoke pot tonight. I have a presentation tomorrow.
Yeah, because pot's what's going to put you over the edge. Here, go get that.
It has a tendency to. I don't know why.
There you go. Get over there.
Do you have that to try and mellow the dog down, or just?
Yeah, it doesn't work though. We have purchased so many different variations of pot. I have chill out cookies as well. None of this stuff works. She is so wired. When she's up, she's wired.
Have you
2 speeds?
Have you
0,
tried eating the cookies?
I mean, maybe. I gave my cat a pot one today. He just crawled into the blankets and slept for about 3 hours. I'm not even exaggerating. It was funny.
So my cats have taken time to acclimate to the new house.
Mm-hmm.
And last night, I fell asleep at about 3:30, and then the cat got on the bed at like 6:30 or 5:30.
Yeah.
Might not want your credit card there in the. I don't think the number's on that one, but.
Where is that? Oh, it's actually my whole wallet.
I know. I'm like, please don't have the number. I'm like, oh yeah, I think that one's on the back.
Yeah.
So my one of my cats was like, "Hey, I will
What was that?
I will sleep on the bed despite how scary the ceiling fan is." And that kept me awake all night.
Eric Neil wants to know what kind of dog.
We don't know. It's a rescue. It's a foster dog. If you have a home, she's looking for a house, a forever home. You didn't know you were adopted?
Yeah.
We don't know. The vet seems to think she has some mastiff in her. We're actually not really sure what she has. So she's a pain.
John,
What?
do you know
What'd I
that
do?
the number one reason startups fail is they can't run out of money? There's so many ways for startups to lose money. Downtime shouldn't be one.
Where was
Recent
this during the
studies-
actual show? That's what I want to know. You were so excited
what happened
pre-show,
there?
and then you just like
I got
completely-
confused.
And then your read wasn't like it was pre-show
My read was great.
during the show.
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh, fuck off. It was great.
I give it.
The only time I will listen to an episode of our podcast is to prove you fucking wrong. My read was great.
All right, you need to watch this one back
Shit.
and just give an honest grade.
Tom, you look a little red. Are you okay?
No, I'm asking the audience.
Not really, not really a rescue. Honestly, she had a home. It's a long story. We kidnapped her. We tried to take her back. They moved. It was horrible. But yeah, I'm not gonna take credit for a rescue situation. You weren't a rescue. You weren't a rescue. Who would give you up, huh? Oh. All right. I got some editing to do. John fucked up my audio stream, so
Hoping it's not
take
too
care of
bad.
that.
Hoping it's not too bad.
I'm hoping that if you did it really quick, it, like didn't like it takes a little while to actually turn off.
Nah, I'm sure it split it, but it really was. I hit it and I realized right away. So
Yeah.
there might be the tiniest gap in there that you need to move it around.
This is why I like A-Woods, man. A-Woods, you're on the East Coast. What are you doing up? Man, appreciate you, though. He's like, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
We were at, let me just tell you this real fast. We were at the dog park, and we go to this. We've been going to the same dog park now. I told you guys this story already, but one day Bek didn't show up, and sometimes she doesn't. Like if she had a hard long night, or if she just didn't get enough sleep the day before, she'll skip the dog park and just go to bed. So one day she didn't show up. One of the regulars there said, "Hey, where's your wife?" I'm like, "Oh, she worked last night and just had too much going on." And he goes, "Oh, she works." I'm like, yeah. He goes, "Oh, I just assumed you were both retired." Fuck you. You can fuck right the hell off. I'm like, neither one of us are retired.
Sick balls. Sick balls.
God. Dick. Zumba, 8 a.m. soon here. Where are you at, Zumba? I'm always curious where people are in the world. Zumba, where are you? Tell us before we end the stream. Tell me now, Zumba.
And then I gotta go spread Skittles on the floor.
You're in Hawaii. You're in Hawaii, aren't you, Zumba?
No, Hawaii.
Zumba.
Hawaii's 5 hours behind us.
They're 3 hours.
3 hours. So it's 7:55 there.
Right. He says it's
8 a.m. Not
8
8
a.m. He said a.m. Right. Sorry about that.
Finland. Well, welcome and
Finland.
thank you for
I have
joining us.
friends in Finland. I want to go to a conference out of the U.S. That's going to be my goal. That's been my goal for so long.
Submit to speak.
That is the nerdiest shit I've ever heard. Is like, God, I wish I could work in another country.
I do. I'm telling you, dude.
You can just take a vacation.
I'm telling you, Amsterdam is like the home of PHP developers.
So take a vacation. It doesn't have to be a working vacation. Just
I don't
take
make money when I'm on vacation.
Well, that sounds like a union problem.
I tell you what, man. I am so like
Tech
focused
workers
on
unite.
Amsterdam now. After everybody I've talked to and all the meetups I see there, and they get like 100 people at their meetup compared to our 50. I mean, that's a lot. Trying to make you look good, John. Don't blow it for me.
All right, I have got to go spread some Skittles on the floor.
All right. Bye, everybody. I'm in the stream. Bye.